Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or if you're actually like going to bed right now and listening to this, I hope you have a good night and sweet dreams. Welcome back to the So Smooth podcast. I am your host, May So Smooth, and we are back with episode two. Trying to make it a weekly thing, stick to it. It's like a real, like, big accountability thing right now for me. So real quick though, I wanted to get into one thing I want to introduce. Like it's like a mini segment, but it's like the verse of the podcast or like verse of the week. And I want to go to Proverbs 22nd, verse 1 in the New King James Version. And it says, "A good name is to be chosen rather than great riches, loving favor rather than silver and gold," which I perceive as the upsetting of your name or your reputation will be far more important than anything you obtain, physically or in this sense, financially or monetarily, like in the world. But yeah, I just wanted to introduce that real quick, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I am a Christian. I do my best to follow Christ and to, live by the word and to just be the best version of me. So I've been sitting here for like the last like 30 minutes trying to ask myself, what is something that I really feel like I want to talk about, and it is like dating standards. I myself am a single man. We out here in the world, just relaxing. But I am a single man, and so with that, I have, done my best to explore, female options in the outside world. You know what I'm saying? So, not have to give too much of my business out there. Uh, but dating standards are always kind of, misconstrued as like some people think that the standard is like a hate towards them. And it's not. That's a standard. That means something you won't go below. That's something you won't put up for. It's it's some people's standard is they partner needs to be have a job. Like that's a standard for them. Like if you're not making money for yourself, then no, like you can't be with me. Some people's standard is, look, if my partner does not support me, then we can't be together. So the it's different things. Like it's physically, it's mentally. It's some people have spiritual standards. Like for me, I would like my woman to be Christian because I do believe that when you believe in the same foundation of like a higher power, is so much easier on a relationship. And since I do care about my faith like a lot, I would like to be able to share that with my wife. Like I want to be able to pray with my wife. I want to be able to go to church with my wife and not just go to church, but actually learn and take notes, then debrief after church. I want to be able to experience and relate to different things when it comes to my faith walk with my wife, and I want to be able to help both of us grow together by being lifting each other up like when we're down. So that's like one of my standards is I would like my woman to be Christian, like because I just believe that it will be beneficial for both of us if we believe the same thing when it comes to like a higher power. And that's really no shade to anybody who uh, dates outside the religion if you have one or if you have a belief, because at the end of the day, that's your decision. Like I'm just telling you guys what my standards are, and then that's another thing when it comes down to of outside world perspective is some people are like, oh, well, that's unreasonable because everybody's unique. Yeah, everybody's unique. But at the same time, like, can I not look for what I want to look for? Like, do I have to. Do I have to compromise my standards because I just think the other person is attractive or they do one thing I like so I can, roll over and be fine with everything else they do that I don't like? No, that's not how it's gonna go. So like a big thing for me is really when it comes to uh like understanding that standards are going to be different no matter where you go, but at the end of the day, if you outweigh or if you like compare you and your partner's standards and they match up, then it can work. Like if one of her standards is, hey, I need reassurance, like I need to be reassured, like because sometimes I can overthink, that's not an unreasonable standard. Like you, like almost anybody can upkeep that. Like, hey, are you okay? Or hey, it's all right. Like that's all it takes. It's maybe, bro, it take maybe less than a second to ask your partner if they're okay. Uh, and even if the man is like, hey, I just one of my standards, I need my woman to be able to, uh, like mesh with my family. Like if you can't really get down with my family or my parents, or specifically, usually it's like the mom, like that's not really gonna fly because like I can't, I can't really bring you around because you're not gonna work together. Like that's another standard. Like is comfortability or relationship with the family. Like are you gonna you know just talk crazy to my mom? Like it's different stuff like that. Like the standard would be like respect for my family and myself. That would be a standard. Um, and some people don't have that standard. Some people like a a smart mouth or a snappy mouth to them. Like it's people like different stuff. Uh, I just wanted to say like when it comes to standards, it's kind of on the opposite end. It's like people get upset with you for your standards when that shouldn't be the case when it's your standards. Like, why are you pocket watching me like that? Like, I know it's related to money, but I'm saying, like, why are you looking so deep into my situation where you're getting upset at something I believe in? Like, something that I uphold for myself and how I don't want to end up with somebody that I know down the line I'm not going to want to be with. Like, why would I do that to myself? Like, a lot of times when I was messing with a young lady, it was always like it'd be smooth sailing, and then obviously when you go through like that honeymoon phase where they're just the the baddest thing walking, what I'm saying, the flyest guy in the room. I was usually like like the funniest guy in the room, a little crazy to me, but nah, I just like to joke a lot. But I mean, make a giggle. But what I'm saying is like when it comes to like getting upset with somebody because of the standard they have for themselves, like you go through that you go through that phase of starting to realize that there's things you don't like after, whether it's some people it's 2 weeks, some people it's like a month of just like that honeymoon stage of like this is the best person I've met. They look so good, like we have so much fun together, and then you start to spend more time together and it's like, okay, this person really ain't what it could have to be, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with them, it's just this ain't what I was looking for. Because everything is about first impressions. Obviously, if somebody likes you back, they're gonna try to be the best version of themselves around you. I believe something my father always told me. Let me chill. He not passed away. He's still here. But my dad told me. My dad told me that you got to see your partner in all seasons. Like he said, like you really have to see. Because I am a straight male, so I love women, but he was saying like you gotta see your lady and like when she's mad, when she's upset, when you tell her no, when you tell her yes, when you tell her maybe, when you don't show up, if you can't, like you gotta try to see every side because like it would be something like if I met a girl and I never told her no, right? And we date for like 6 months, not even that. Let's say we date for a year. Let's say it gets that far. And now, I'm not gonna lie, if you don't tell your girl no and it's been a year, you simping hard. But let's just say realistically, I mean, chill, let me not say that. Theoretically, if I was never to tell my girl no, and then we end up like a year into it, right? And then it's that one time I tell her no, and she spaz on me. I'm gonna be off guard because I jumped headfirst into it without trying to see every aspect of the person I would, had romantic feelings for. And that's what really is the cause of some relationships because it's like people jump into it because it feels good in the moment. And then later on down the line, it's like, okay, this really isn't what I wanted. But there's a lot of reasons why people don't back out. Like, I really don't try to get, involved or think, poorly of people who are in tough relationships because it's like, bro, you don't know why they're still there. Like, you don't know why they're still there. It could be something like and this is like real talk right now. Like, it could be the sex. Like, some people just feel like that's like the only person they could ever do it with, or it could be a situation where that's the person that they got the best from and they don't want to leave them. They could be a soul tie emotionally or sexually, where you're just like, this has to be my person because we've been through X, Y, and Z. It could be a situation where it's abuse. Like you feel like you would be like in physical danger, like if you left, and that's a real situation too. And other times it could be blackmail. It could be so many things, and so it's like, oh my gosh, why he don't leave her and like come with me? Like you don't know what he going through. She could literally have this man by his chin straps, like, and you wouldn't know because he's stuck in there. Or some dudes be like, why you want to be with him? Come over here. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, bro, you don't know why she's still there. You don't know why she's still there. You don't know how far deep she is into it. Some people even get trapped with a baby. Like that's like next level. Um, but regardless of that, I do feel like that if you hate on somebody because of a standard they have for a relationship that they want to have and plan to, expound upon and really stick with, like, then you kind of going about it the wrong way because you have your own standards. You have your own, you have your own lines that won't be crossed. Uh, it's all about self perspective. Like, think bigger than yourself and realize that someone is not going to agree with you the whole time about what they expect. And then another thing too, have conversations. Like have conversations with the person you want to be with, because I feel like people feel like that comes after the title. No, it does not. Conversations about how the relationship should go and what you expect out of each other should happen before the title even comes. When you start to realize that feelings are shared and there is like a verbal, or if like if you just have to text about it, like if there's a verbal or electronic confirmation that there are feelings on the table, that's when you need to start having conversations about expectations. That's when you need to start having conversations about future motives or current motives on why you got into the relationship. Because some people got into it because there was, some people get into stuff because it was lonely. Some people get into stuff because they wanted to get something out of it. Some people get into stuff because they need to find they need to feel like a hole in their life. Like some people will literally just find somebody just to mess with, and they end up too deep because they were trying to fill a hole somewhere else. So like when you start to realize that feelings are getting involved, you need to have a conversation about, okay, what are we doing right now? Are we working towards something? Is this not going somewhere? Because some people's standard is we date to marry. We don't just date to date. Like if I'm dating you, I'm hoping we're gonna get married. Like that's the plan, and not just, oh, that's my boyfriend, and that's as high as it's gonna go. Because some people date for years. Now, I'm not talking about people who, have like any like financial struggles and can't obviously afford to get married. In some cases, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who just literally will just keep you around as they partner, and just never ever take it any further because they're satisfied where they're at. Um, but yeah, like have conversations about the relationship, because bro, if you don't have a conversation, they're never gonna know. Like if you don't tell them that, hey, I expect, us to talk at least once a day. That's an expectation, like, because if from their perspective, like if you like me, I would expect us to talk every day. That's an expectation. Another expectation could be, hey, I would like us to sit down when we eat. I don't want to just get food and go somewhere else. That's that quality time expectation, that taking time to really, be in each other's presence. That can be an expectation. And so many other stuff. Like it's kind of, I'm kind of running in circles because it really comes down to the same thing as communication. At the end of the day, whether you like somebody for 2 weeks or like somebody for 6 months, it all comes down to communication. And if there's no communication between the two people who share feelings, then there's going to be no progress. And then with that, it could lead to a bad outcome. Like people who just choose to keep things inside, like I encourage you, have that conversation with your partner if you don't like something. Because if they really your partner, they're going to try to do their best to satisfy your needs at the same time and still upholding their standards. Like there's a difference between compromising yourself and coming to a compromise. This is two different things. Like two different things. perfect example would be the game. I know a lot of my homeboys like to play the game, but their girl likes quality time. So what they do is, hey, look, from so her standard or expectation is spend quality time with her every day. His standard is, hey, I need my free time on the game with the guys. And it could easily be a situation where it could be the weekend, she gonna leave him alone. Or one or the weekend, like that's for her. Like even though most guys are off on the weekend, but like that's the thing where it's like, hey, let's come to a compromise together to satisfy both of us. Like I want to spend at least an hour a day together, right? So he's going to make sure he sets an hour, apart every day to spend with his girl, and then she allows him to go off and play the game with his guys. Like that's what I'm saying. Like coming to a compromise is different than compromising yourself, and that's where a lot of relationships fall because there's no communication about what is actually expected of each other or what standards are, or trying to work things out and just complaining about it and not trying to do anything to further it. So that's really what I kind of wanted to do a little spill about. Like it's nothing really crazy because, like I said, this is a solo podcast, so like there's no like outside opinions coming in. So like I said all I really wanted to say. We might do a part 2 at some point if I have something else to say, but not really. But that's really what I wanted to get down to. Is just like when it comes to, even though I was running in circles, when it comes down to it, if you like somebody and you know they like you, just talk about it. Like, just talk about it. Don't think, obviously, if you don't know how they feel, wait out a little bit, get some more confirmation, get some more signs. But when you both know and have confirmed that you like each other, have conversations about where to go from then, because it will help you avoid something, or it will help later on in a relationship having already that communication bridge built and able to talk to each other about anything. Like it's so important to have conversation before anything, like just so you know that both parties are comfortable with whichever way it's going, because it could be a situation where if you're expecting to pop the pop the question of like hey, do you want to be my girlfriend, like but she needs like another month. If you don't talk about when you think you'll be ready to be in a relationship, if you don't have that conversation, then when you pop the question, don't be upset if you get a no, because she's just not ready. It's different stuff like that where communication just helps save a lot of heartbreak, a lot of confusion, a lot of anger, and a lot of disappointment. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say, man. Have conversation with the people you like. Don't try to wait till you get in a relationship. Have conversations now before you even get there, because it could literally be the worst relationship you've been in. But you wouldn't know because you wouldn't know the person. You wouldn't know what thought process they have. So I thank you guys for listening. I'm a bit more quiet this time because honestly I'm not like crazy hype. It's been a long day, but yeah, I just hope you guys have a great day or a great night or a great afternoon or evening or morning. I don't really know when any of you guys will be listening to this, but I know for a fact I am about to lay down and watch my One Piece. I am currently on, for those who do watch anime, I'm on 982 if I'm not mistaken. As of June 29th, I am on 952. So hopefully I can finish it before the Gear 5. I think that's like 10. I don't know. It's far. But yeah, hopefully I can finish it before then. But yeah, have a great day, guys. Or whenever you listen to this.